It's 8 o'clock. I just ate a slice of cold pizza. And you know what that means. It means it's time for the Nintendo Download Express. That's right, folks. The train has pulled into your station once again. It is Monday night, and I am Jeff Gersman. And this is the Nintendo Download Express. Wow, it is great to be here. Like I said, a little cold pizza, huh? Yeah. Excuse me. Christ. I got that pizza on Friday, I think. Still sitting in the refrigerator, still doing what it does. Still like a piece of it in there, but I think I might just toss that out. Kind of edgy at this point. I don't really know how long to keep a pizza in the fridge before it starts to get a little rank. Today, you know, it being Monday and all, you know, there's some hardness to it. It was a firm piece of pizza, maybe a little more firm than it was when it was fresh, but still in there, still doing okay. Oh, coming back up a little bit, though, let me tell you. Better get a sip of that in there, yeah. Oh, man, we have got an intense show for you this week because not only do we have the latest and greatest in downloadable content for Nintendo's platforms, we will also bring you the first listen of the Nintendo 3DS. That's right. We're gonna play a little bit of that for you. Lay some of that on you. Of course, that's not out until Sunday. But here at the Express, we got one of those. We got one. We got two. Got a pair of them. Talk to me. One black, one blue. Ain't screwing around. Let's not screw around any further, though. Let's get into the meat of the show here. We'll talk about the 3DS a little later on, and of course, emails from y'all. But let's get into it with a little bit of Virtual Console. All right, should I even play the WiiWare music here? I guess I have to play the Wii. I mean, the Wii Shop music plays when you're buying Virtual Console games. So, Wii Shop music for this week's Virtual Console release, and you know it's leading off the list for a mighty fine reason here. Because it's Natsume Championship Wrestling for the Super Nintendo from Natsume Incorporated, 1 to 4 players, yeah. Rated E10 plus for mild violence, ooh, yeah. 800 Wii points, step into the ring. Choose from 12 outrageous wrestlers and bring the pain. Wield the massive power of Asteroid, the lightning-fast strikes of Viper, the underhanded attacks of Phantom, and many more madmen of the ring, yeah. With its robust grappling system and more than 50 moves to master, Natsume Championship Wrestling delivers the deepest and most realistic wrestling action of the 16-bit era, yeah. Test your might against the crafty AI, or up to 4 players can compete in exhibition, tag, team, and round-robin matches, yeah. Additional accessories are required for multiplayer mode and are sold separately, yeah. That's it for Virtual Console. I don't remember that game at all. Natsume. Great names. Asteroid, Viper, Phantom. I would watch a wrestler named. I mean, you know, if they were to just say, if they just roll out like, oh, by the way, who's facing the Undertaker at WrestleMania? Yeah, Asteroid. I'd be in for that. Asteroid could break the streak. It says here he's got massive power. It's named after freaking rocks from space. Think some phony, ghostly dead guy is gonna stop that? No. Space rocks. Dead man walking. Oh, I'm the last outlaw. Look at me. I'm a biker. I'm not a biker. I got this hat. Oh. Asteroid. Done. And we got a pair of releases for WiiWare this week as well.
One demo, one not. This one, man. Arcade Essentials from Nord Current. Someone should keep track of like how many games each one of these companies puts out on these services on a regular basis, because I feel like, it's the same names coming up again and again. Nord Current, Genterprise, however that is pronounced. Of course, No puts out some stuff. Gosh, who else? Who are the Titans? Right in with that. Who are your favorite publishers for WiiWare and DSiWare? Which companies do you think stand out the most? But yeah, Nord Current certainly comes up a lot. So I wonder if these just don't take any time to make, and that's why there are so many of them. But anyway, Arcade Essentials from Nord Current is one player, rated E for everyone, 500 Wii points. Now, before I start, keep in mind, these are essential arcade games. Arcade Essentials. If you're going to open an arcade, there are essential games you would need to have to successfully run an arcade. So here we go. Arcade Essentials is a collection of 5 classic arcade games. All right, cool so far. All are presented in a modern reincarnation with enhanced gameplay, stylish graphics, and sound effects. All right, well, modern takes on classic. Okay, all right. Jump right in, enjoy the non-stop gameplay, 2 words, and immerse yourself in these popular games as you did many years ago. Discover lots of levels to unlock, plus high score tables and other cool stuff to keep you entertained. Now, I don't do this very often, but I actually went and looked at some images. I put it up on giantbomb.com, which is a website on the internet that has a database of all video games. And no one had added Arcade Essentials yet to the database, so I added that myself. I was really shocked by that one. So I had to go and find an image, and of course the Nintendo Press site had one image that served as kind of a title screen. They didn't have screenshots, but they kind of show some images from a few of these games. None of them, these aren't Arcade Essentials. It's not like hey, here's Kicks. Here's Pac-Man. We got Pac-Man, we got Defender, we got Asteroids, Missile Command. What's the fifth? What's the fifth, of that era? What would be the fifth one? Galaxian. Galaga. Double up for Namco releases. That's... if you said here are 5 games that you need to have, here are essential arcade games, those would be 5 I might expect to hear. Or maybe, you go maybe a little more modern era or something. Here's Street Fighter 2, Neo Geo cabinet, Smash TV, Cruisin' USA, Time Crisis. I don't know. Or you go super old, Original Sprint, Death Race, Fire Truck, Pong, Computer Space, what? Or maybe, it's hey, here's 5 vector classics, Asteroids, Tempest, Black Widow, Major Havoc, and that Star Trek game. The Star Trek Bridge Simulation, whatever they called it, Star Trek Simulation. Those you might be able to get away with saying hey, these are essentials. But notice they don't even mention anything about the quality of the games or what the games even are. Just immerse yourself in these popular games as you did many years ago. And the screenshots, one of them looks like bootleg Qbert. One of them looks like it almost might be some kind of Tron light cycle thing, but it's hard to tell. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look it up. Unprecedented. Look at this screenshot. Look at this image, and really. Oh God, can't type. All these cables are all over the. Typing this up on my new personal computer. Got a new one. It's quieter, which is nice. All right, let's see here. We've got... all these games look the same. 4 of them look like they are like visually just like slightly different takes. So okay, this one kind of looks like it might be bust a move, but instead of bubbles, they are 1, 2, 3, 4. They're hexagons. Pentagons. Sorry, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, hexagons. Instead of bubbles, if I had to guess, like it looks like there's a little launcher at the bottom of the screen. There's another one here that looks like you're at the bottom of the screen shooting up at enemies, which I don't know if that's you can call that a Galaxian or a Galaga or Space Invaders or something if you wanted to. The way they're kind of hovering down almost looks more like Astro Blaster or something. You got one that shows the same ship, like they all kind of have the same ship in them too, I think. Emitting some kind of repulsive sonar ping out from it that maybe is a shield. And maybe this is asteroids or asteroids deluxe, but the ships are just ships, it's not rocks. You got one that also has these like same hexagons, but it's arranged in a cubert kind of grid formation, and the ship is kind of laid on one of them, like it might be hopping around, changing colors. And then one that looks like a grid, that looks like there might be some stuff that's drawn walls that might be a Tron-esque light cycle thing. Like none of those are the games that these might be like ripping off or something. Like might be essential. Tron is certainly a classic. Space Invaders is certainly classic. Cubert, I would call it classic. I mean, they made a cartoon based on Cubert, so at some point, someone thought Cubert was awesome. Think about that. Trip on that. At some point, Cubert was the pinnacle. People were like, look at that. It's 3D. And they put one of the pinball, like, free game knockers in the bottom of the cabinet. So when you jumped off the edge and fell to your doom, it would make this knock in the bottom of the cabinet like Cubert fell all the way. It would go, and it would make a like crazy clack noise against the side of the cabinet. You're like, whoa, it's like Cubert is really in there. These games do not look essential. I am somewhat enraged by all this. Especially because a modern reincarnation is what they call it. Immerse yourself in these popular games as you did many years ago. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these are all licensed. Maybe this like it's totally, but it couldn't be, right? They didn't go out and license Cubert and then say like, but it's a ship and this weird looking Space Fury looking ship thing. Also not. There's no long nose. Curse noises do not come out of the ship when you jump off the edge. Or maybe they do. Maybe they do. They can't be any worse than Burger Time HD. Played that on the PlayStation 3, which is a video game console made by a company called Sony. And they have a similar type deal where they have some games that you can download, and I believe this Burger Time game will be a downloadable game for PS3ware. I don't know what they call it. And let me tell you, Burger Time, that's a video game. That's I might even call it essential. Data East classic, at the very least. Peter Pepper, Mr. Egg, Mr. Hot Dog. You're hitting them with pepper, and then knocking the bun down and crushing them, or having them take a ride on the bun, and that makes it go down even further. Burger Time HD. Whew. Whew. Some things just shouldn't be modernized. You know? Because when you take those mechanics and try to present them in a polygonal form, like no one wins. No one wins in a lot of those cases. Like, hey, we remade Burger Time. It's the same Burger Time you love, but with a new twist. What's that twist? You can jump. Like, oh, great. Totally, that was what was missing from the original Burger Time, was the ability to jump. Obviously, this is you've changed the game. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Someone somewhere is doing the best they can, working on stuff like that. Someone somewhere is like, man, we're gonna remake Burger Time, and well, I'll put that on my resume, and that'll be great. I don't know. I feel bad. Not to tear things apart. This train is a train of love. It's not about It's not about that. But Nord Current, got my eye on you. Also out on WiiWare this week, a demo version, which is a free-to-play version of a game. It says here, some demo versions do not support all game features, and players cannot save their in-game progress in demo versions. So it's free, but it's not fully featured. It's like a portion of the game to entice you to perhaps buy the full version. It's a demonstration is what that's short for, not demolition. Dive, the Metis Island Secret demo version from Cosmonaut Games. One player, E for everyone, mild violence. This is 0 Wii points. 0. But if you want the full version, it's 1,000 Wii points.
Over the past 5 centuries, hundreds of ships flying every ensign have succumbed to the power of the ocean. Merchant boats, pirate ships, navy vessels, all of them have ended up covered in coral at the bottom of the ocean. They all guarded secrets that remained hidden over the years. Secrets that have always been a mystery. Until now. In Dive, the Metis Island Secret, you are John Sanders, a treasure hunter, an experienced diver who spends months planning and documenting a major expedition to locate and recover several ships of different ensigns around the world. So if you think that sounds good, there's a free version of it for you to try. I don't... John Sanders. Captain Sanders, I assume. And that's it for WiiWare. A little thin. I don't know. SNES Wrestling. That's all right. Arcade Anger. You know, that's... I don't know about that. That's a little crazy. But let's take a break. We'll come back and talk about the Nintendo 3DS, the upcoming new addition to Nintendo's family.
One night, when I feel the fight, I got a hot light. Living back in the ride because it's my right to do and say what I like. Yeah, I just might do and say what I like and do it tonight. The barrel goes to the right, jumping high. Back and forth to the side, look at our sight. Step up in your high, protect me going right. Say my life, but beat it up right. Got me up where I stand and never straight right. With the mic in my hand, you know I'm full track. I don't take it to mind because I bite. While you haters in half, I'm out to buy sight. Set it up with a pin and it's a good night. I never sleep, I just win and never black white. Always ran beside, I couldn't cut night, go! When you're standing, then I'll take flight. I let them go into land, there ain't no way right. In the can of the gang, you know it sound right. He was a quiet man, but he was too tight. Stabbing murder the brand, tonight is hell light. And I'm a hell of a man, I stick a sit tight. Say I'm buried a man, and say you're left right. Right to stop it, I stand, okay, you're right. Say my name, I'll be there, a Friday day night. Straight smell like flag, I'm doing no night. So throw your hands in the air, okay, yeah, right. Got nothing my side, yeah, it's a cop night. In the back of the ride, the told me sit tight. When I was here on my mind, and they say come back, wow!
And we're back. Okay. Before we get into DSiWare and your emails, I do have right here holding in my hand here a Nintendo 3 3DS. Now, this is the upcoming new device that Nintendo is releasing this Sunday here in the U.S. It's been out in Japan for a little bit. This is a U.S. version I have here. I got it in sleep mode. Well, let's wake it up here and see what happens. This is Ridge Racer 3D running right here, which is a... It comes on like a cartridge. Then I can hit the home button here and kind of get right out of that and back in here. I can't. I should plug this in. Oh God, what am I doing? I can push buttons with the microphone. Great. That's Face Raiders. That's what that sounds like. That's AR games. So I'm sitting here at the kind of the main menu. AR games and Face Raiders are two. Basically, if 3DSware was alive and well right now, these would probably be games they'd probably be selling. But they're games that come packed right on the device, like when you purchased your DSi and it had some stuff built in. You've also got the Mii Maker, where you can make Miis. That's fun. Everyone likes a Mii, right? And that's something Mii Plaza. Street Pass Mii Plaza, which is where you can do stuff with your Miis. There's a little like role-playing game in here, in the Mii Plaza, where you can hire cats with swords to try and save your Mii from a cage. I don't really know what that's about. Download play, so you can one cartridge multiplayer. Classy. It's a classy tune for the activity log. Everyone likes activity. Let's hit activity log and see what I've been doing on this thing. Been sitting on this 3DS for close to a week now. Showed up the day after we recorded last week's program. And since then, I've taken 2,982 steps and played 17 titles. Which, keep in mind, titles is a pretty loose term. Even the little application that gives you the health and safety information counts as a title. Actually, I'll go into software library and look at what I've played here. Titles added. Settings. Yeah, nice. So game notes, which we'll get into later. Notifications. That's an application, I guess. I've played that 8 times, making it the 3rd most run thing on the system. Friend list is apparently the most, with 30 launches. Street Fighter is second with 17. 6 times the Face Raiders, 5 times the AR games. 1 time with Steel Diver. 2 times with the camera. All right, let's back out of the activity log. I got the hiccups. That's a little known fact about me. 3D gives me the hiccups. Let me turn that off. Oh, okay. That's the system settings sound. Isn't that cool? I can tell you're stoked. All right, but let's go into system settings here. So let's talk digital releases on the Nintendo 3DS. Obviously, if you've been listening to this program for any length of time, you understand that the 3DS is not going to launch with a storefront for digital games. That's going to come in May, which is, basically it'll come in a couple of months. I believe they did say late May. So, maybe 2 months until we get that stuff. That seemed like a lot further away at first, but then I realized that April is like next week. So that's weird. But in the system settings here, you can kind of go through some stuff and kind of see where they're going with a lot of this stuff that they haven't rolled out yet. Let's see. So when I go into other settings, there's a button marked System Transfer. And when I hit that, it comes up and says, System Transfer will become available through a system update. For details, visit support.nintendo.com, which is kind of the default message it says for the web browser as well. But that's where you're going to go to get all your great DSiWare moved over to the 3DS. So that's pretty awesome. The button's already there. They can't not do it now. And then if I go into data management here, there are two separate buttons here. I mean, they have a full color like logo here for DSiWare. It's a button. I'm going to hit the button, and it comes up and again says this feature will become available through a system update. So DSiWare, they've committed. They've committed. And there's the Nintendo 3DS button here. When I hit that, it lets me go into software and extra data, so I can kind of go in and, oh, well, that will become available later through a system update for software, and I guess that's for 3DSware. But extra data management, I can see here. Again, blocks, right? It's 2011. We're talking about blocks. But it's blocks on an SD card that I've saved some stuff to and still have the 2 gig card that comes with it, and I still have 14,849 blocks left. So that's something. Right now I've got saves for Super Street Fighter 4. That's 1 block. Mii Maker, that's 2. Face Raiders is 2. And Ridge Racer 3D, 132 blocks. Yeah, it's a lot of blocks. So it almost does like a little mini install or something. I don't really know what that's about. So connection settings, and then there's a separate one for Nintendo DS connections. And when I push that button here, it lets me configure my connection settings for Nintendo DS software. Obviously, this thing's backwards compatible. When I hit this, it actually just loads up the DS-like connection settings screen, the way it always looked before. Which means it probably won't work for my network here. Let's search. Nope. This access point's security settings are not supported by the Nintendo DS. Yeah, so it's just emulating that stuff. But really, how many times did you want to get online with DS software? Exactly. So far, pretty impressed by this thing. I wasn't necessarily expecting that going in. You know, every time I had seen it up until actually receiving one, the whole thing seemed kind of hokey. I don't know. The 3D always seemed like kind of poorly implemented. It was hard to get a good view of it, and just like it seemed like a real hassle. And they weren't showing any of the front end menu screens or anything like that, so you couldn't really get a sense for like, okay, have they fixed any of the stuff that was dumb about the DS and all that. And then they finally started talking more, and you know, a lot of it's really great in the context of it's better than the DS, but it's still stuff that seems kind of absurd to be dealing with in a device that's coming out in 2011. So like, you know, friend codes. Like, it's awesome that there's only one friend code, and it's the system level friend code, and every game works with that. It's dumb that there are still friend codes in 2011. It's awesome that it supports more networking, wireless networking protocols. You know, the DSi added some of them, but that was, you know, only really great for getting on and downloading stuff from the shop, which arguably is the only useful thing to do with an internet connection on a DSi in the first place. But, you know, like if you had a Pokemon game or something like that, even on the DSi, it still wouldn't use WPA2. So it's great that the 3DS supports that stuff, but crazy to be in this position where you're like, oh, it's great that it supports standards that are already totally like 4 years old, 5 years old, or whatever it was. Yeah. Yeah, so it's, I don't know. That stuff's really crazy. But generally speaking, the games, it doesn't seem, I haven't tried everything yet, and they're cartridge based, so I kind of don't care anyway because they're not digitally available. But no real standout, gotta have it game for the 3DS just yet. But the system definitely has made a very positive impression on me, and like with so many things related to Nintendo, it feels like a matter of time before they kind of hone it in and get it right and start bringing out stuff that really matters. And that'll be Game Gear games in this case. I think when they start releasing digital versions of Game Gear games, that'll be the moment that I kind of stand up and I'll pull the train whistle, woo woo, and we'll all go to the store and buy a bunch of 3DSs and start downloading Psycho Fox. No, that's a Master System guy. They do it on Game Gear. It's their Game Gear version of Psycho Fox. What's that you're telling me? It's not the version you want anyway because the aspect ratio of the Game Gear sucks compared to the Master System? Great. All right. Producer over there is giving me the high sign. So anyway, that's all I really have to say about that. The 3DS definitely seems like it has a ton of potential, but none of the software I've seen so far, even the stuff that's not going to be out for a while, your Kid Icarus, your Star Fox 64 3D, none of that really jumps out at me. Let's run down the list here. Actually, Nintendo issued a press release earlier today. Nintendo 3DS changes the way you view portable entertainment. And kind of just ahead of the launch on the 27th, they put this out, kind of saying, "Hey, guess what? The 3DS is coming out soon." Which obviously you all know because you're listening to this podcast that is focused on Nintendo products. I'm sure you know that in the US the 3DS is coming out soon. In Europe it's coming out whenever it's coming out there. And it's been out in Japan. But like having this thing for a week and kind of showing it to I showed it to a couple of people who are not really avid game playing people. And they were like, "What is this? Like what?" There's a lot of confusion that Nintendo was even bringing out something new. So, it's interesting. Like, you get outside of the bubble of people who really care about video games. They haven't even started marketing the 3DS to anyone. This is talking about launch events and stuff here, this press release. They're saying midnight launch event on the 26th. So it looks like they did a thing with Best Buy, because if you go to bestbuy.com/3DS, and I guess the DS are capitalized in this URL if you care. God, now I'm advertising. Oh, tricked again. So doing Union Square in New York City, the Best Buy there, they're doing hands-on demos with food, music, and giveaways. So get your food and then rub it all over a 3DS. For those that can't make it to New York, additional midnight launch events will be held at several Best Buy stores throughout the country. So, and Nintendo is installing more than 6,000 kiosks at retailers across the country over the next couple of months. So, keep in mind, there's going to be the people that want it day one, but this is really, that's how you market something when you're marketing something to a mainstream audience. It's got to be that almost Apple-like way of, this thing's available right now. Like, you need to see it and then go, oh, I can go get one of those? Cool. Or, maybe they'll be sold out or something. But, that seems reasonable to not really start up the high end, like the big mainstream marketing push until the thing is just about out. Because people like us, it's like we're not as sensitive to things like, hey, it's got to have games that are worth playing. There are numbers of us that'll go out and pick it up regardless. And Nintendo thanks you for your fervor, I guess. But seriously, it's a neat device. I don't know that it's $250 worth of neat right now, because like I said, none of the software I've seen really backs it up. But and the battery life is dicey. That's gonna be the thing. You're gonna be like, oh man, this is dicey. 18 games available as of this Sunday, but actually a good number of those are coming out tomorrow, Tuesday. A lot of those are shipping this week with the regular drop of retail games. Your third party stuff like Ridge Racer will be in stores probably tomorrow. Maybe even by the time you listen to this. So yes, 18 games available on launch day, and then 30 total available by early June. That's what they're calling the launch window, which is a generous, that's a bit rich. to extend your launch window into, you know, E3 or whenever. Nintendo's got 3 games of its own, though 5 if you want to count them. The dumb okay, Pilot Wings Resort. That's the first one on their list, as it should be. That's the one you're like, hey, we got new Pilot Wings. You kids love Pilot Wings. It's a high-flying aerial adventure that lets you soar over a tropical island in a plane, on a hang glider, or with a rocket belt. You can take on more than 30 challenging missions or go sightseeing and snap pictures in the game. Yeah, picture stuff. Not great from what I've seen so far. From the other games that allow you to snap pictures. Like, all right, I got this picture. Then there's Nintendogs plus Cats, which lets you train and interact with your very own puppy and kitten. They react to your voice, and will even welcome you with a lick of the face as you lean in. Ugh. And this is the one that there are 3 versions of it. Toy Poodle and Friends, Golden Retriever and Friends, or French Bulldog and Friends. We got Toy Poodle and French Bulldog. No Golden Retriever. I think that's racist. That's dog racist. So that's dog racism right there. The players can eventually unlock all 27 different breeds to enjoy. Unlockable dogs, dude. You gotta free the dogs. Also cats. Steel Diver. That's a submarine game that seems more like a tech demo than a full game to me, but I have not played very much of it yet. Then there's some third-party stuff. They actually have the list here. I'll just run it down. We're here, right? We're here. I'll run it down in case you have been dodging this information. Cover your ears. Super Street Fighter 4 3D Edition. They're right to list that one first because it's probably the most impressive game for the whole system. It also uses like every single feature that the system has, from Street Pass to actual genuine online internet play that is easier to connect to other players than the console versions of that game. But it has some control stuff that actually really, really bothers me. It's still pretty neat though. The Sims 3. Madden NFL football, no year on that. They're just like, hey, we're putting out Madden football. We're not committing to doing annual Maddens on this thing just yet because we know. You think they'll do it? You think they'll cave? Think they'll cave and put out Madden every year on the 3DS? I don't think it needs it. It's weird to have a game just called Madden NFL football though. Like, what does it even mean? Does it mean it's the Genesis game? Like, what are you talking about? Pro Evolution Soccer 2011 3D. That's soccer. So, Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars, Ridge Racer 3D, Super Monkey Ball 3D, Bust-A-Move Universe, which that's Puzzle Bobble for those of you outside the U.S. I'd always confuse Bust-A-Move with the dancing game, that PS1 dancing game that was called They called it Bust-A-Groove here, but I imported it. So I think of the last of the international Playboys when I think about Bust-A-Move. Samurai Warriors Chronicles. That's a colon. Samurai Warriors registered, all caps. Colon, Chronicles, capital C. Why? And then Ubisoft going deep with Asphalt 3D, which is, I mean, Asphalt started out as like a cell phone driving game. You know, I should probably give it a shot on its own merits, but every time I've seen an Asphalt game, it just looks like ass, and I don't know whose fault it is. Boo! Man, that's funny. That is very funny. That's how comedy works. Read about it. Combat of Giants Dinosaurs 3D, which I hear is terrible. We don't have a copy of that, but everyone that has seen it pre-release has said that it is BADD. Rayman 3D, which is, I guess, Rayman 2 3D, which sounds potentially cool. Nice to see a new Rayman game, even if it's an old Rayman game. And Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Shadow Wars. Okay, so Ghost Recon's coming. Okay, that's what it is. Ghost Recon's coming out, but Splinter Cell got pushed back. I was trying to remember what that was. And then they mentioned some games as coming out in the future. They just mentioned Ocarina of Time 3D, Star Fox 64 3D, which is a terrible name for a video game. Kid Icarus Uprising, which is they should have called it Kid Icarus Reckoning. Like if you're going to like slap generic subtitle on the end of game. Like, they just have a coin, and on one side it says Uprising, on the other side it says Reckoning, and you flip the coin, and there you go. New installments in the Super Mario, Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, and Paper Mario series. Like, that's cool, but how crazy is it that when they just say, we got new stuff coming, like this game with Mario in it, and also this driving game with Mario in it, and this paper game with Mario in it. Like, it's not that I don't like Mario. I like Mario. He's a great character, I guess. He's been in some great games. Like, let's not dig too deep on the character of Mario, because I feel like that's where all of video gaming totally unravels if we start digging too deep into that. And I thought the screenshots they released of the upcoming Super Mario game back at GDC looked pretty cool, but Super Mario, Mario Kart, Paper Mario, and Animal Crossing, which I'm actually super excited about a new Animal Crossing, like I get every time they say they're making a new Animal Crossing. And then I play it for about 4 days, trade oranges with someone, and then never go back to that town again. Get online like twice and then go like, all right, I don't want to catch fish anymore, and I'll never remember to turn this on a holiday and see fireworks go off. And I just, like, if they could just guarantee that every time I turn it on, KK Slider would be there, I would probably play it a lot more often. And I bet there's some really cool stuff they could do with Street Pass and Animal Crossing. But you know, when are you? This is America, and we drive cars. I'm an adult and I drive a car. I don't take a train to work. I don't live in a public transportation friendly area up here in the suburbs. So, and they don't let me on school campuses anymore. So I'm never going to street pass that. I street passed today, but only because we have 2 3DSs. And it was cool, but it's never going to happen, is it? There should just be like internet street pass, online street pass stuff where you just say like, I want to just hook up with random people while I close this thing. Just like get on the internet and say like, pull me down some guys to fight in this Street Fighter figurine battle, or get me some random ghost data, or, at least like pull it from my friends. Like, I got this friends list, like make that happen. But no, it's got to be walk past a person. And I don't even know how that stuff works, because it street passed one way. Like, one system got the street pass stuff and the other one didn't. I don't even know what's happening. I don't even know. So confusing, but further testing required on that. And it's not like the battery will let you really get away with that stuff all that much anyway. Yeah, so the 3DS, that's out this Sunday. I recommend you pick one up and play around with it. See it for yourself. I will at least say that much. I'm not going to say rush out and buy one, because I think that $250 is kind of a lot of money, and I don't know that the software is there yet, as I continue to say. But I will say, at the very least, it's very easy to want to write it off and say that the 3D is crap, because pre-release, it was. Pre-release, a lot of it looked bad. But aside from Ridge Racer making me turn the slider down to halfway because it is too intense, but the 3D has been A-okay, and not all vomit-inducing like it has been on television screens for me. Enough about that, though. That's the system of the future. We'll eventually, this whole podcast, I expect, will eventually have to be recorded in 3 dimensions, because we'll probably only be talking about 3DSware at some point. The Wii's not going to last forever. DSiWare, it's not going to last forever, even though they keep putting out great games on it constantly. Like this week's 2 releases. GG Series D-Tank. That's capital D hyphen capital Tank. From Genterprise Incorporated. 1 player. Genterprise. Hello, I'm calling on behalf of Genterprise Incorporated. How are you? Hello, I'm Public Relations Manager for Genterprise. How are you doing? Hello, I'm the IT Manager for Genterprise. Like, what sounds... Neither of them sound right. I'm trying to think, like, what would be, you know, if I were introducing myself to someone and I worked there, how would I... Hello there, my name is Larry. I'm the CEO of Genterprise Incorporated. Yeah, Incorporated. No, not the LLC. I don't know, those guys, that's Genterprise over there. I don't know about them. One day we are going to get to the bottom of this. One player rated E for everyone, mild cartoon violence. That's MCV for you. 200 Nintendo DSi points. TM. You control a tank that can respawn any number of times. Wow. The focus of this shooting game is to put your life on the line to successfully carry out a variety of defensive and offensive missions. In defensive missions, you must take out the enemy tanks targeting your base before it is destroyed. In offensive missions, you must capture the enemy's stronghold within the time limit. The key to success in these missions is the strategic use of items such as bombs and special ammo. You can respawn any number of times. How many times do you want to respawn? Add one. You can do it that many times. I wonder what the D in D-Tank stands for. I wonder what the GG stands for in GG series, actually. Man. Again, let's not unravel the entire game industry by getting to the bottom of these mysteries. If we ask the wrong questions, it's like The Arrival. Run up to Ron Silver and tell him that he's terraforming. Gets all pissed off. Chapo! Chapo. I don't know. From Tick Games, LLC. They're an LLC. One player rated E for everyone. 500 Nintendo DSi points. Chapo is a challenge that will keep you on the edge. Balance the scales as you play shapes made of... shapes. Shapo. Shapo? It's gotta be Shapo. S-H-A-P-O. Lost Mark's brother. Chapo. Shapo is a challenge that will keep you on the edge. Balance the scales as you play shapes made of different materials. Play more than 150 levels in classic or puzzle mode to unlock the greatest wonders of the world. Stunning art brings 15 wonders of the world to life. I thought there were only 7. 8 if you count Andre the Giant. 9 if you count Andre the Giant. 8. No, it's a 7. There are 7 wonders of the world. This one might be the 8th. That's that 2 Live Crew album starts with. Mr. Mix. He counts. So I guess Mr. Mix must be in this game then. That's alright. 15 wonders of the world. Like what are the modern wonders? Like, I mean, obviously they have the classic wonders, but if they got to 15, then what is it? Like Madison Square Garden. That Lady Gaga video. I don't know. What qualifies as a wonder of the world at this point? If they've got 15, like you got like the pyramids or something, the Sphinx, Great Wall of China. What else? There's that the Burger King that they opened on the other side of town a few years back. That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. It's a stretch. Enjoy exciting power-ups such as the Material Bomb and Line Bomb. They build those as exciting, not me. Each ball and shape has a different weight, so be careful when placing your pieces. In classic mode, create lines to remove balls. Match sequential lines and watch the combo multiplier grow. Balls. In puzzle mode, complete increasingly complicated levels by filling the grid with the given balls. Yeah, so it looks like that's, they give you something, and you gotta stuff the balls in there. Fill it up. Chapo. Chaperone. Shapo. That's it for DSiWare. That's what they got going on there. No arcade essentials for DSiWare. That's just a WiiWare mess this week. I don't know. Combat of Giants. Well, with that out of the way, all that we've got left here is emails from you. That's right. ndx@bxr.me is the email address that we want you to send emails to. Of course, your correspondence is the fuel that goes directly into the engine that keeps the train running. Without your 5-star reviews on the App Store, we cannot keep making these free updates. No, have you noticed that? Like, not to delve into other platforms, but how shady is that? Apple should not let people do that. Sometimes you get these applications for your internet, your iPhone, and some of them pop up and say things like, I had an update come up and say like, hey, be sure to go rate it on the App Store. It said, be sure to go give it 5 stars on the App Store because we can't do free updates if you don't. Like, what? And also this app had been broken for months, like crashing, just total garbage. Had been completely useless. And they put out an update saying, hey, be sure to go rate it 5 stars. I should give it 1 star because it doesn't work. And then say, oh, we fixed it. You didn't fix it. On top of that, it's still broken. Form Spring. Oh. Your emails begin now with Matt from England, who writes in to ask, Dear Conductor, do you think full retail games for the Wii and DS will ever be released as downloadable titles? I want to download Pokemon through the air. I hope not. I don't know. Like, I don't want that trash cluttering up the purity of WiiWare and DSiWare, you know? Like, it'd be great to not have to leave your house to get these products, but do you really want these products? Wouldn't you rather just have them make a brand new Pokemon game tailor-made for you? The discerning digital consumer from the digital age? I know I would. I want air Pokemon just as much as the next guy, but not if it's the same old Pokemon. And think of how many blocks that would take up. I don't have that many blocks. Johnny from Virginia writes in with a very good question. So the 3DS has its own notebook app. Obviously, Nintendo's attempt to compete with the My Notebook juggernaut. But there's a crucial feature we need to know about. How many pages can the 3DS's notebook hold? Because let me tell you, I use a lot of pages, and if it can't offer more than 128, I'm not interested. Well, let me grab this thing. All right. It does have a notebook built in. Like you can, like mid-game, you can hit the button to get back to the home screen, suspend your current game, and then go right to the notebook and jot down any thoughts you might have or like a lunch order. Draw a pretty picture. And I believe you can actually, even when you're in the notebook, you can actually, when you suspend an application and go into the notebook, you can actually take a screenshot from your current game and or look at it or draw. I think you can even draw on it in the notebook. So to say like, you know, oh, you need to go here, then here. Okay, so I am looking at the notebook right now, and it looks like there are spots here for 16 pages here, which is not 128 here, but I'm drawing. I have four colors, or I'm sorry, 3 colors to work with here. I have blue, I have red, and I have black. I also have an eraser. There's an undo. I'm sorry, what is that? No, that okay, that's not undo, that's back. It's not undo. It goes back to the main menu. So I can just scribble. Scribble, put some blue. Oh yeah, then go to red and write my name. Ronnie. All right. I can just erase some random stuff there. And then I can kind of just go out of it and it's saved there as a note. But there's also like an eject button over here. an export button. And when I hit that, it comes up and says clear or export. So when I tap the export button, it actually takes a photo of the note and saves it to the SD card. How cool is that? So now when I go into the camera section here, which I actually just get to by pulling one of the triggers, just activates the camera right away. How do I... Okay, view photos. There we go. Are you having fun taking 3D photos? Well, let me share something even more fun with you. Photos in Nintendo 3DS camera can show up in other games automatically. They might be modified too. Exciting stuff, eh? Actually, I don't know. Don't worry, though. Your originals will be kept safe and sound here with me. Chirp! And there's a parrot here, and he's got like a sweat tear coming off. That's great. I don't even know what that... So, and my note here that I took is stored here. Is stored here, and even when it's exported as a picture, you can still kind of draw on your pictures with a lot of different pencils. More pencils that are in the notebook application. Now that I think about it, I can put hearts on it. Oh, look at that! That's a lot of hearts. Also, it's in 3D now. Like I'm drawing 3D stuff on top of the original picture. This is just art. At this point, this is just art. Well, that's not erasing the. I don't even know what that's doing. I mean, cool noise though. I can zoom in. Oh, smudging. Oh, it's like smudging the top layer over the existing image. It's like graffiti on top. Wild, man. Wild. So, in a way, in a sense, you can take infinite notes. Because you could take these pictures and get them off of the SD card. And store them on a personal computer or a portable hard drive if you got some kind of way to get them on there, and just fill them up just with all these great all these notes. But in terms of active notes that you can edit like notes, it appears to be 16. Now, I have not tried to fill up all 16 of those to see if it adds another page at that point or if it is limited to 16, but that does appear to be the limit. And there are only 3 colors to work with there. So maybe there is a place for Node to come in with a more fully featured My Notebook 3D that does offer 128 fully editable pages at any given time. But I think for most people, if I had to guess, the included notebook with its 16 pages and export capability might actually be enough. Just order the same thing for lunch a lot. Just write down your lunch order once. And then anytime you want to order food, you can just call that up and go like, oh, okay, I need a chicken breast sandwich, plain with only Swiss cheese, a dozen boneless buffalo wings with spicy barbecue sauce. I need a steak quesadilla, one order of 2 crispy tacos with no lettuce, and a mozzarella sticks. Just write that down, and then anytime you want to order from the wings place, you just hit that button. It's right there for you, and you can export that. You can export that because once it's locked down, it's locked down. You don't need to edit that. That's what you want. So Johnny from Virginia, thanks for writing in. I hope that answers your question. I think it's a happy medium between My Notebook's 128 pages and something reasonable for a free price. I don't know. We'll see. But I think that is going to do it for us here at the Nintendo Download Express. I want to thank you all for listening. It has been a thrill to be here talking to you this Monday evening. And we'll be back next week with more of the same great stuff that you want, and who knows what else. I've been trying to lock down a guest here for a couple of weeks and not getting a lot of return phone calls on that one. But, well, who knows, man? Next week's show will be a brave new world. The 3DS will be out there. We'll be 1 week closer to the launch of the eShop. Who can say Will people podcast in the future? I don't even know. It doesn't even make sense. We'll see. Come back next week and find out, because I don't know.